Don't get me wrong, Florence is incredible, but if you don't step outside of the city to explore the rest of the region, you're probably making one of the biggest mistakes in travel. Yeah, it takes a lot of planning and logistics, but the payoff is huge. You have historic hilltop towns, delicious food, and beautiful wine, and it's probably the Italy of your travel dreams.
Tuscany has captivated travelers for centuries, and it's easy to see why. Historic villages, world-class wine, and landscapes that have inspired iconic Western art. But let's be real, planning a trip can be overwhelming with so many questions. Where do you stay? Which vineyards do you visit? And how do you dodge crowds to truly relax? After 15 years of exploring every area of Tuscany, we've made the mistakes so you don't have to. This video is packed with insider tips to help you avoid crowds, choose the perfect place to stay, and plan your dream getaway. Whether you're drawn to a quiet hilltop village or a boutique hotel or a stunning agriturismo, we'll help you find your ideal spot. By the end, you'll know where to stay and how to turn your trip into a story that wows everyone back home. You'll leave feeling like you didn't just visit Italy, you thrived in it. So let's dive in.
Towns like this can be annoying to get to if you're trying to use public transportation. But if you have your own set of wheels and a good plan, this could be the Italy of your travel dreams. I'm Angel Castellanos, the tour guide, and today we're exploring the most beautiful towns right here in Tuscany.
We created the perfect route and plan to get you from A to Z. Check out our online guidebook with curated information on maximizing your time and increasing your fun. Before we start our day, hook me up with a like and subscribe so we can keep bringing you great content. Tuscany is one of 20 states, or regione, in central Italy. There are 10 provinces and 11 official wine-growing regions, all within Tuscany. The capital is the most famous village in Italy, Florence. If you're flying to Tuscany from the US, you'll likely connect through Europe. The closest airport to Florence is Americo Vespucci Airport, which is 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles northwest of the Florence city center. Another option is Pisa International Airport, primarily served by budget airlines. Both airports offer connections to the UK and other European cities. If you're already in Italy, taking the train is the easiest option. Florence is a major transportation hub and on the high-speed train line. You can reach Florence Santa Maria Novella station directly from Rome in 96 minutes, Bologna in 37 minutes, or Milan in an hour and 57 minutes. Choosing the right area to stay is just as important as selecting the right hotel. We'll explore Tuscany by region, highlighting different accommodation types and recommending specific hotels featured in our online guidebook. Getting around Tuscany definitely takes some planning since the area is massive, approximately 23,000 square kilometers, which is about 9,000 square miles. If you're a licensed driver over 25 years of age, go ahead and rent a car. It's your key to total freedom in Tuscany. Most hill towns aren't easy to reach by train, and buses outside of cities like Florence and Siena are not reliable. The best part? Tuscany's roads are smooth and stress-free. Unlike the chaos of the Amalfi Coast. Just keep your credit card handy for tolls. This is your adventure on your schedule. If you plan on driving, don't forget to download maps to your device to be used offline from your favorite navigation app. Here are some basic drive times for reference, and other than Florence, we drove to every location in this episode. If you don't want to drive and you need to take the train, your best options are the towns of Siena, Arezzo, Cortona, or Lucca. Those towns have frequent connections to Florence. Today we're diving into the special places to stay outside of Florence and what makes them unforgettable. Our best strategy is to approach where to stay by area. In the north, our top choice is Lucca, because you can choose to stay inside the magnificent ancient wall town or stay in one of the best resorts in Tuscany, which is nearby. 40 minutes south of Florence, you're in the famous Chianti wine area. Near the main town of Greve, we'll be spending time at Villa Calcinaia, where the prestigious Caponi family has been growing wine since the 16th century. Further south, there's Siena, which is a no-brainer because there's so much to see and do there with so many accommodation options in and around the city. Within the Siena province, there's a lot going on. Our top choice for being close to several top wine regions is Montepulciano. Nearby, we'll show you an agriturismo in the epically beautiful Val D'Orcia and the nearby historic town of Pienza. To the east, Arezzo checks off all the boxes and will give you bragging rights with your neighbors because they probably have never heard of this incredible town. Within the province of Arezzo, we love Cortona because it's worth the hype and fits the bill as the quintessential Tuscan hill town. If there's one Italian wine that is famous worldwide, it's got to be Chianti. The area between Florence and Siena was beloved for centuries by the aristocratic families of Florence, well before it officially became a wine-producing region in 1716. It's only 45 minutes south of Florence and can be done as a day trip, but if you have time, the pro move is to stay in the region. We're spending time with my friend, winemaker Count Sebastiano Caponi, whose family has been in the wine business since 1215.
I'm in the heart of Chianti country near Greve, and of course I'm here with none other than Count Sebastiano Caponi, who is the head of Villa Calcinaya, which you see behind me. And this is a historic villa.
Very much so.
You produce wine.
We do olive oil.
And olive oil.
Olive oil, goat cheese.
Goat cheese.
A little bit of honey.
Honey. And people can stay here.
People can stay here, yeah. Well, this is the heart of Chianti Classico era production, because the winemaking made in Chianti, because of the long history, is not called Chianti anymore, it's called Chianti Classico. And the way for people to know the difference between just a Chianti wine and a Chianti Classico wine is the Black Rooster. The thing about this place is that it's natural beauty, and its natural beauty has been modeled by men for the last 3,000 years. So that's a combination of human craft and natural beauty, so that's always a win-win situation. And the garden that we're going to see next, it's the overhanging garden, or secret garden as we call it in the family. It was built in the 1700s because this place, when it was purchased originally in 1524, was built more like an investment for a merchant at the time. It was too far from the city to be considered as a summer residence.
For me, this one's personal. Count Caponi isn't just a guy with a fancy title. He's more of a mentor and has been a guide in my own wine education, so my family's been enjoying his bottles for years now. I can tell you, it hits differently when you're drinking it on the land, where it was born, with a vineyard just a glance away. That's something you carry with you long after the bottle's empty.
Such a pleasure being here. Always great having you. Yeah.
We recommend staying at Villa Calcinaya because it's ideal for getting to know a historic estate tied to a noble family. You can definitely do wine and olive oil tasting right on the property. It's also good for various group sizes because there's several different cottages throughout the estate. It's definitely central for the Chianti wine region, and Florence is only a 45-minute drive away.
I'm 35 miles south of Florence in the greatest hill town in all of Italy. It's medieval, whereas Florence is Renaissance, and it was a superpower in this area. And if you don't visit this village, then you will never understand Tuscany.
Siena isn't a taste of Tuscany. It's got main character energy. Its pedestrian-only streets, jaw-dropping piazza, iconic cathedral, and shadowy back alleys aren't just historic. They're alive. Yeah, it's definitely on the tourist circuit, no shock there. But our pro tip, to outsmart the day trippers, stay the night to make Siena's narrow cinematic lanes yours. You'll have the mornings and the evenings relatively tourist-free. Remember, the worst time to visit Siena is during Easter time and during the Palio race, which happens every summer around July.
I'm in the epicenter of medieval Siena and possibly one of the greatest people-watching squares in all of Italy. Over the years, I've learned from my guides that this was just originally a field outside of the city, but as the city grew, it really became the heart of town. And it was so important to the Siena's people, who were a republic, they built the city hall right here. And right next to the city hall, you find the Torre del Mangia, and it's 400 feet high, 330 feet to the top. And if you don't go to the top of the Duomo, this has epic views of the whole city.
We definitely recommend staying in Siena because Siena is ideal for seeing some pretty important historic sites, even though Siena doesn't have any mega monuments. It's also a great base for exploring the southern part of Tuscany, and in Siena, you're going to have the most accommodations out of any hill town in the area. Also, there's plenty of different options for eating and drinking.
If you're looking for a place to stay in southern Tuscany, then you should definitely consider Montepulciano. It's one of my favorite hilltop towns. It's pretty high. It's 600 meters high, which is almost 2,000 feet, and it's situated between three valleys. So it's an excellent position to really explore the whole region, and you're completely surrounded by the famous Vino Nobile of Montepulciano wine region.
Yes, Montepulciano is my personal favorite because when you close your eyes and imagine Italy, this is the hill town you see. Renaissance palaces, rolling vineyards, that hazy honey-dipped light straight out of a Da Vinci painting. It's a town built by nobility for nobility, and it shows. Grand, but not gaudy. Timeless, but never frozen in time. This isn't some quaint, forgotten village. It's a big hill town, long, lean, cigar-shaped, towering above the competition. The core of Montepulciano is Vino Nobile, one of the oldest wines in Tuscany and one you can impress your friends with. It's a kind of wine popes, kings, and nobility have been sipping for centuries. You don't just drink it, you live it in the underground cellars in town, carved right into the rock. Or make the short drive to one of the 270 producers where you're welcomed among the vineyards and inside the winery to be part of the story.
One site that you can't miss when you're making your way up to Montepulciano is the Church of San Biagio. It's a prime example of the Italian High Renaissance and such a beautiful church right at the base of the hill.
Forget chain hotels and rooftop infinity pools with annoying influencers. Montepulciano plays by different rules. Stay in the old town, and you're sleeping in history itself, weathered stone, ancient alleyways, and views that'll make you wonder if you accidentally woke up in a movie. If that's too close to the action, there's always agriturismos, wine estates, and boutique hotels tucked into the countryside. It's a slow life experience you brag to your friends about like you discovered it yourself. Montepulciano isn't for the checklist traveler. It's for people who want to linger, to sip, to savor, to feel like maybe, just maybe, they belong here. And for a little while, you do. We definitely recommend staying in Montepulciano because it is so centrally located. You can easily get to other hill towns like Pienza or Montepulciano. You're in the thick of Vino Nobile wine country, but you can also explore other areas like Brunello. One of the best restaurants I've ever eaten at in Tuscany is in Montepulciano, and so there's definitely good food there. It's also a bigger hill town, so there's a lot more energy there.
So there's tons of options of where to stay in Tuscany. Of course, you can stay in town in a traditional hotel or B&B, or you can stay in the beautiful countryside. And again, you have lots of different options. You can stay in a historic villa like Villa Calcinaya, or in an agriturismo, which is actually a working farm, or in a hotel like this that has been restored to its former grandeur by the owners, and it's really a love letter to Tuscany. This property dates from 1780. It's called Borgo San Vincenzo, but has all of the modern amenities.
Tucked away in the vineyards of Montepulciano, Borgo San Vincenzo isn't just a hotel. It's a 21-room, unapologetic affair with Tuscany by fellow travelers and experienced hoteliers Shannon and Scott Kircher. Built in 1780, but reborn in 2022, it blends this beautiful old-world charm with modern indulgence. Wine flows like water here, since it's only 10 minutes from Montepulciano. Everything, from the tastefully decorated rooms to adventures beyond the gates, is curated. There's no shtick here. It's not just a stay. It's a story crafted by people who care about the experience and the land.
It's nothing like stepping out into the fresh morning Tuscan air. That's what I love about staying in properties like this. You're just right in the countryside.
We recommend staying at Borgo San Vincenzo because it is ideal for getting that elegant and tasteful boutique hotel experience, which can be kind of hard to find in the countryside. You also have access to various wine regions. The on-site dining is delicious, so if you don't want to leave the property, that's a huge plus. And the service and staff are really great, super top-notch. Pienza is a masterpiece of reinvention, a hilltop haven reimagined in the 15th century as the ideal modern city. Its tranquil pedestrian-only streets may look like a postcard, but they hum with stories of ambition, artistry, and the dream of creating perfection against all odds. Although not as dramatic as other hill towns, it's a stage set for your own Tuscan escape, where every turn invites you to step into the story.
In 1405, Pope Pius II was born to the famous Piccolomini family, and he was so enlightened when he became Pope that he decided to remake his hometown into a Renaissance masterpiece. The piazza that you see behind me is referred to Pope Pius II Plaza, and it's a prime example of this project. This town is often referred to as a Renaissance masterpiece and the perfect Renaissance town.
The gentle rolling hills, manicured vineyards, and tree-lined streets of Val D'Orcia have been depicted in art for centuries. Now it's all over Instagram as one of the most beautiful areas in all of Italy. With proximity to ultimate hill towns like Montepulciano and Pienza, now it's your turn to claim a slice of this iconic Tuscan landscape.
It's incredibly special to stay in an agriturismo like this because not only are you surrounded by the beautiful countryside, but this is a true working estate with so much to see and do. You can go horseback riding, have a barbecue night, and one of my personal favorites is aperitivo right in the hot tub over there. So we're in the Jeep doing a safari of the property here. I got my man Gianluca. It's a 3-hour tour and we're exploring the whole region and having epic views of the Val D'Orcia.
There is no better place to purchase real Italian olive oil than from an estate like this, and you can even have an olive oil tasting with the grower himself.
Ready? That's it.
più potente, my spice.
Yes.
We recommend staying at Podere Val D'Orcia because it is ideal for that classic agriturismo experience where you're staying on an active farm and literally enjoying the fruits of their labor. On this agriturismo, there is a fantastic equestrian center, one of the best in all of Tuscany. It is definitely one of the most picturesque areas, and you can enjoy sundowners and aperitivo or even outdoor dinners enjoying this beautiful view. And then it's great for various group sizes because they have such a variety of different accommodation styles. Lucca isn't trying to impress anyone, and that's exactly why it does. This is a place where life moves at its own rhythm, free from the crush of mass tourism, untouched by war since 1430. Locals linger in settled piazzas, and cobblestone streets just invite you to wander. Encircling it all are the stunning 16th century walls, 100 feet wide, and perfect for a leisurely stroll or bike ride under ancient trees. There's no busy museums or mega monuments here, and that's the point. Lucca is the experience. Timeless streets, a quiet charm, and the uniquely circular Piazza dell'Anfiteatro, a nod to the Romans who started it all, where being there feels like a moment stolen from history. It's the kind of place that stays with you long after you've left. Lucca is so great, you can stay inside the walls or somewhere nearby. The Grand Universe Lucca is a luxury property within the ancient city walls on the corner of two piazzas. Many of the rooms overlook historic Piazza Napoleana. The vibe of the hotel pays homage to the musical heritage of Lucca. The food in the restaurant is delish, and the hotel even has a free bike rental scheme so you can cycle around the town or on the ramparts. We recommend staying in Lucca because it's ideal for families with children, finding a variety of different accommodation types, outdoor lovers, cycling, and low-key relaxing. The Renaissance Tuscany Il Ciocco Resort and Spa is a 50-minute drive north of Lucca in the mountainous area near the town of Barga and next to a national park. This resort offers 178 rooms, including 51 deluxe suites with balconies. There are 2 pools on site, including an outdoor pool with epic views. All of the amenities and services you can expect from a resort of this caliber are available, and the whole property is surrounded by lush hills. Not gonna lie, I enjoyed having a coffee every morning on their loggia. The pro move is to dine at the resort to enjoy their delicious menu. Even though Francis May's book Under the Tuscan Sun made Cortona a tourist hotspot, it's definitely worth the hype. Actually, travelers have been coming to this classic Tuscan hill town for centuries. Cortona's charm isn't just some postcard-perfect facade. It's in the way the town feels unapologetically itself. The crumbling stone walls, the narrow streets winding up to the epic views, the shops where you can purchase authentic Tuscan goods. It's gritty, beautiful, and completely unpretentious. A place where life is savored, not staged.
Cortona is also known for its epic views. It's only a mile away from Umbria, so you get views not only of Tuscany, but of also Umbria right from Piazza Garibaldi.
We recommend staying in Cortona because it's ideal for those classic hill town vibes, easy connections to Florence, its proximity to Umbria, and no matter how many tourists come, it's definitely unpretentious and authentic. Arezzo is a province in Tuscany, and the town of Arezzo is just an hour away from Florence, but feels like a different world. It's home to the best antique market in the region and masterpieces of the Renaissance period. You can walk into the Duomo, which dates from 1278, and have a stunning Piero della Francesca fresco to yourself. Arezzo is the kind of place that sneaks up on you. It doesn't flaunt its history or parade its charms. It lets you discover them. It's authentic, unpolished, and proudly living in its own shadow. Exactly the kind of town worth getting lost in. We recommend staying in Arezzo province because it's ideal for stunning Renaissance art, not in a museum or in Florence, the best antique market in the region, connections to both Florence and Rome, and exploring towns like Cortona. Don't forget to check out our website for a full detailed listing of a variety of properties we recommend in Tuscany.
Well, that's it for our time here in Tuscany. I'm Angel Castellanos, the tour guide in the shadows of medieval Montepulciano. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and smash that bell so you can find our next video. Happy travels.